Hi everyone, my name is Elaine and today I'm going to be talking about The Lord of the Rings, specifically the One Great Ring. I got the idea for this video from a lab I did back when I was in college, studying to get my English major, and I just needed those science credits. Basically, when I was in my physical geography class, I had this lab where we try to save J.R.R. Tolkien's reputation. Basically, come up with a process by which the ring could have stayed in the same location for hundreds of years. We had just learned about fluvial processes, and for the most part, according to these lectures, having a ring stay in one place just didn't make any sense. But there is one way, at least that I know of, that this is possible. And we were supposed to basically come up with the answer and tell our professor how this was possible and thus defend Tolkien's reputation. Here's the answer I gave. Oftentimes, rivers are created with gravity's assistance from water moving from a higher altitude to one that is lower. These streams contain what is referred to as a solid load, sediments, and other materials that are carried along the bed. The stream also carries what is known as a suspended load, tiny particles such as clay and silt, as it flows. These particles are called a suspended load, because as their name suggests, they are continually kept in a state of suspension. As the water flows over the surface of the earth, it erodes the landscape. For example, the stream can reduce mountains. This occurrence stems from the fact that precipitation collects in watercourses, eroding the land upon impact. At the same time, the sediment eroded by the rain become an erosive tool, which helps the river to carve out the land, often through the valleys in which they flow. In other words, the river's act of flowing through the land is erosive. The sediment that is eroded in one location is then moved by the river, lost within its flow, and then deposited when the river's velocity is sufficiently reduced. For example, it can be reduced by increased friction. The deposited sediment is further eroded by the river before the particles are picked up again and passed farther down the length of the river. This process continues over and over again until the sediment makes its way to the ocean or a lake. If this is the case, then how did the Great Ring stay in the same place for hundreds of years? How could it have stayed in the same place for hundreds of years? It could have remained in the same place for hundreds of years because the Anduin flows into what is known as an Oxbow Lake. Essentially, a meandering stream's amplitude increases until the river forms a swan's neck. During a flood, the river escapes its banks and leaps over the neck. During this act, it strains out, abandoning the old river. Over time, portions of the abandoned old river undergo what is known as sedimentation, either the settling or deposition of sediment within a river's body. This creates an Oxbow Lake, which is nourished by groundwater. Eventually, the lake transforms into a swamp, which gradually fills in with dirt and other forms of sediment, becoming nothing more than a meander scar. Eventually, the river will return back through its course, refilling the meander scar. Thus, it would make sense for the ring to remain in place for hundreds of years until it was found by Smeagol and his former friend Deagle. So there you have it. That's the answer to this question. That is how the ring could have stayed in one place for hundreds of years and how I defended J.R.R. Tolkien's honor and reputation. If you like what you saw here today, please give me a thumbs up. I love those. Leave a comment down below. Did you find this video interesting? Did you learn something? Is there another way that the ring could have stayed in place that maybe I didn't think about and haven't thought about? Subscribe, hit that bell so you know what's up, and I'll catch you all in the next one. Bye, guys.